This is our tour of me and Elijah's map in Maycomb. We're going to start off with the Black People slash Calpurnia's Church. The significance behind this place is it represents the result of prejudice and how people fight against it. It's no secret that Black people are resented in the town of Maycomb. Because of this, they live in a very impoverished society, not having the same resources as others around them. However, they don't let this get to them. Church shows that it stands as a beacon of hope for Black people in Maycomb. It also shows how uh, it also showed Scout how people can have multiple layers to them, such as Calpurnia having a different accents when she went into this town. I'll show you guys the inside. In the inside, we have a very big cross, tons of seating for all of the people, and this is where the pastor would stand and preach. On to the next location.
This is the Radley House. It represents the prejudice and judgment of Maycomb. The kids firstly judged the house off of its look. Then they learned to judge it off of labeling Boo as a monster, not even knowing him. The Radley House quickly shows the injustice of others and how different people treat them. This is the knothole. This is our interpretation of the inside. That's obviously Boo Radley right there. Just kidding. That's Boo Radley. And that there, that's the pants. That's Jem's pants. We love Jem's pants.
Our next stop on our tour is Miss Maudie's house, which you can tell by the azaleas outside, which she in the book she said she has a ton of. Miss Maudie and her house are the complete parallels to the Yules. Maudie is shown to live in a very nice house and live a life of zero prejudice. Because of this, she lifts others up, unlike Bob. The burning of her house represents how the prejudice against others spreads to others, whether they believe in it or not. Let's take a look at the inside. The inside is obviously burning to a crisp. She has a nice dining room table, nice kitchen, azaleas in her kitchen, obviously, sinks, ovens, all of that good jazz. And then we can cover her bedroom, which is still completely not on fire because she had to get out of the house somehow. Her bookshelves, her little ledge, and her bed. Um, and that is Miss Maudie's house. On to the next destination.
This is the Yule's house. They represent the main antagonists of the story. Bob Yule lives a life of hatred. He blames others for his situation, never realizing the fault of his actions. He punishes those around him because of his hatred. Bob's life has no highlight, which stems from his hatred. Tom Robinson is another example of Bob's victims. He's used for Bob's beneficial gain. This results in the climax of the story, all stemming from Bob. This is the Yule's house right here. This is where they sleep. This is where they poop. And this is where they cook. This is the forest that Bob was in when Mayella got attacked, supposedly, allegedly. And this is their trash pile. We love their trash pile because that's where they exist.
The last stop of our tour of the mapping of Maycomb is the courthouse. The courthouse represents and is a prime example of prejudice in Maycomb, where a black man, completely in the right, still suffers. Despite Tom having an unbeatable case, he still loses to racism. This was one of, if not the most vital turning points in this story. This is where Jem and Scout truly learn about people's biases against black people in Maycomb. However, the case wasn't totally for naught, because it got people to question if Tom was in fact innocent. This shows how racism was fading off, even if not shown in Maycomb. Let's take a tour inside. First, we have the two massive pillars described in the book that was previously burned down. We'll take a look inside. There is Judge Taylor with his judging outfit and mace. We have the upstairs region of the court where the colored people slash black people of Maycomb would sit and observe the case. We have the seats in the regular stands. The jury would sit on left and right of Judge Taylor, and then this would be Atticus's and Tom's, and then this would be Yule and his lawyer. This is our entire mapping of Maycomb.